Hey guys, I'm Snake and today I'm in a division together with my good friend Gefreiter Stein, and we both decided to take out the German T3 premium battleship, the König Albert. Well, with her white camo she looks a little bit like a party boat, but let's be honest, she's great at her tier. So let's see what two guys can do in this beauty when working together closely. As our team begins to scatter around the map, we decided to move into position to support them to capture the C point. And wait, what the hell is that Wix doing? Is he really dropping smoke at the start of the match? Well, and if I'm not mistaken, he's about to... Yes, he's dropping torpedoes as well in a direction with a range that the only thing he might hit is a bunch of fish or something. Well, on the other hand, it's only a tier 3 match and everyone has to start learning the game at some point. So good for him. Not that good for the team though. But let's skip forward a little bit until something of interest happens. As our team is splitting up to get all 3 capture points, it seems, and we are still moving into position to get closer to C, take a look at that Izukazi not capturing C. What happened there? Has he run to a buoy or something? But it's pretty clear he's afraid of something, so we better hurry down there to support him. Or at least help cutting him out of this fishing net. I mean seriously, the enemy team is halfway through capturing A already, while our guy is laying on his aft deck getting sunburned. Yeah, I know, it's a tier 3 game, could be a new guy, but seriously, look at C. There's a big fat island right in the middle of it, why isn't he stopping there and hiding from enemies? In all this time waiting around, he could easily gut C for us. No, he has to wait outside the capture point to make sure his team doesn't get an advantage. But wait, it gets even better. He's turning away from C point, running from, well, almost nothing that can spot him. And if you are thinking I'm only criticizing new players, just wait for my big mistake of this game, which is still hunting me to this day. But more on that later. Let's get back to the game, cause our teams are about to clash. In the meantime, the enemy team managed to capture A, and Stein and I are still waiting to get into range. Damn, those early tier battleships are fucking slow. If you remember the Wix that was dropping smoke at the start of the match, he is moving away from B2, so we are not getting that capture point at any time soon either. Well, at least we are finally into range to start dropping some lead into those enemy ships. Nah, broadside cruiser, perfect shot, lining it up and shit, that was some bad aiming. Well, I could try to blame it on the German gun dispersion, but no, that was just me, I just gave it a little bit too much lead. In the meantime, our team got B, so it's time to close the point gap. Well, he's still sailing in a straight line and he just added a torpedo. This is my chance to finish him off. Come on! Come on! Well, it looks like everyone is a noob today, including me. Which means he was able to kill our destroyer, and with one of our cruisers on our side down and the enemy just got C, we are already 200 points behind, and that after 4 minutes into the game. That looks great. Okay, I guess now it's really time to concentrate, because if we don't, this game will be over before the speaker is able to say,
"The enemy team is about to win."
At least my gunnery sergeant is back from the bathroom it seems, so finally I'm able to hit something. The other guy, well, not so much, which is really good, cause we just lost another cruiser and another destroyer. And even now our team managed to get at least one of the enemy ships sunk too. We are now more than 300 points behind. I guess the only chance we have at this point is to kill as many of the enemy ships as fast as we can, get into sea and start gaining some points. Oh, this is gonna be a total loss. It is only now, as this Novik comes around this island broadside on, that I realize that our team already lost both of our destroyers and the enemy team still got both of their destroyers, so we are at a real disadvantage because we have basically to spot for ourselves now. But I think at least this Novik is down now. A few of you might argue that firing armor piercing in a tier 3 battleship is nonsense, but well, tell that to that cruiser that just got citadeled. So even in a low tier match, there's a good chance you will not overpenetrate and deal massive amounts of damage to the enemy ship. So just stick with the AP unless the enemy keeps the ship angled against you. As you can see, I'm trying to lob some shots over this island, even the indicator shows me it's obscured. But don't be afraid to try this, cause even if I'm missing now, I had a lot of situations where just one shell hit the enemy target and it went straight into the citadel. But for now I'm lining up a shot and waiting for this Kaiser to come around the island broadside on. Well, but RNGesus and the German gun dispersion prevents me from doing massive amounts of damage to a close range target. But this is something you really need to get used to if you want to go the German battleship line, cause their guns are more like a shotgun than like a rifle. But at least our team was focusing down this guy too, so Gefreiter can have his first kill too. But even now with these 2 kills, the enemy still has a 300 point advantage to us, cause they managed to get all 3 capture points. But now there's only a Bogartier class cruiser in C, so I'm turning around to get in position to capture it. As our team keeps losing ships, I'm trying to get some shots over this island again, but this time Gefreiter is in a better position than me and he gets his second kill. Good job, man. And now there's no opposition left and we are free to capture C. Finally. Not sure if it will make any difference, cause all the enemies at B will now start to come down to us and defend their C point. I'm gonna skip ahead to let them come into range. So what have you missed? Well, the enemy Clemson just team killed the V-170 with torpedoes, so thanks for that. On the other hand, we just lost our Myogi battleship and the Itziaslav that was capping C, so we can start all over again.
The enemy is about to win.
And as the enemy team gets close to a 500 point lead, we are now facing a cruiser and 2 battleships. On the bright side, Gefreiter and I are still at full HP and we are about to enter the cap circle, and we are not giving this up. After some disappointing shots at the St. Louis, we are finally around this island and cleared to fire on those 2 battleships. Now it counts. We are ignoring the cruiser for now, cause those battleships are definitely the bigger threat. And who knows, maybe the friendly St. Louis can handle him by himself. Stein and I decided to focus down this Kavachi first, and meanwhile our last ship in the upper corner just died, so it's really just us 4 down here now. Which means the enemy outnumber us 2 to 1 and have a points lead of around 700. As you can see, I'm holding my fire here to wait for this battleship to show me his full broadside. It really makes sense sometimes, cause you do a lot more damage this way. And even if the König Albert is just a tier 3 battleship, it's a German one, so the secondaries really pack a punch. Well, that is if they are able to hit anything at all. So of course Gefreiter and I skilled our commander to support the secondary armament, which means in a close-hand brawl against other battleships we really have the advantage. While that and the Kavachi is determined to keep setting broadside onto me. So there's another kill. If you guys want to get high amount of damage or those one-shot kills, you really need to prioritize your targets. Keep zooming out between shots to find the ships that show you the best target. What really works in our favor right now is that most of the enemy team is still at the upper left corner, and we can take our time to get those 2 ships down here and maybe get into B to capture that too. Plus the enemy Nassau is following the lead of the Kavachi and showing too much broadside, so there's kill number 3. We still have one of our own Nassaus in reserve, but well, he's so far off he's not really able to help us. Now while we are moving towards B, we can finally take care of this pesky St. Louis. We need to wait on our turrets to turn around though, cause the turret traverse on this level is not very good. And all of this time he's able to keep firing at me with his high explosive shells, which is really annoying me. Our own St. Louis and Gefreiter Stein are trying to support me here, but this guy really knows how to dodge shells. If you haven't already done so, I propose you check out the St. Louis yourself, cause it really is the true T3 battleship of the Americans, not the South Carolina. We really need to hurry down to B though, cause it won't be long until the rest of his team will show up. And I got him. Well, okay, we got him. It was a team effort, really. At least now both teams have the equal amount of ships left, but with the enemy still ahead 500 points, we only have the option to kill all or lose.
So keep fighting in a situation like this, cause there's always a chance you might take a game like this and turn it around.
It was just now, as the last of the enemy team come into range, that I realized they still have a destroyer left. And here come the torpedoes. While Gefreiter Stein never was in a real danger, I really had to step on the brakes and turn the rudder hard to starboard to dodge that one. That sneaky little Clemson almost got me. So now we have to be really careful here, cause with the Clemson on our back and the rest of the enemy team in our front, it got really dangerous. At least this Karlsruhe has given us an easy target by running to this island. But the German dispersion prevents me from getting this kill again. While checking the position on this Clemson, I suddenly got the feeling of impending torps, and here they come. They were much easier to dodge than the ones from the Clemson, but we so need this Karlsruhe down, because on the horizon we can already see the first of the two remaining enemy battleships, and they both are at full health.
And while the enemy Clemson managed to kill our own St. Louis, Gefreiter Stein claims his 4th kill by getting the Karlsruhe.
3 battleships left now, and the Nassau is still a far way off. So basically it's only Stein and myself against the rest of the enemy team, and we only have about 100 points until the enemy wins. This is when the Clemson shows up again, but since I still have all my guns on the other side, except the middle one, and he's dropping smoke, I can't do anything about this.
I might even have killed him with this one shot, but again I didn't give it enough lead.
I'm turning away from his smoke, expecting torpedoes, while the enemy battleships are still a good distance away from us and we are trying to capture here.
You might wonder at this point, where the hell is this big mistake he was talking about? Well guys, stay tuned, it's coming up.
We finally managed to capture the B point, and this is when the Clemson gets spotted right into secondary range. But even with a 19-point commander, they are not hitting reliable. But we need this guy down fast, cause he can top us at any time, so I'm turning around trying to get my main guns into position. When I finally get one gun into position, I only managed to hit him with one shell, which gave me the Confederate award, but didn't kill him. Good thing I'm not alone out here. Gefreiter Stein to the rescue. This was a very important kill, cause not only he prevented the enemy to win by points, but now we are free from the enemy destroyer and can focus on the last remaining 2 battleships.
Even the friendly Nassau managed to catch up a bit, and now it's all or nothing.
All this dancing around with the enemy Clemson means that again my guns are on the other side of the ship and need to turn around. We still have about 4 minutes left to win this game by killing all those guys, but since the enemy still has a point, it can be over much sooner, so we need to hurry up. I'm keeping the island on the right between myself and the Kaiser, cause I don't have that much health left and one battleship is already enough to deal with. Gefreiter Stein on the other hand has much more health left than myself, so he's getting close to bring his secondaries to bear. Even our remaining Nassau got finally into range and is starting peppering this enemy South Carolina. There is still a chance to win this, guys. While I'm still able to get some shots out against this South Carolina, I need to be very careful here, cause I'm already down 2/3 of my health and every kill for the enemy team would mean an instant lose for us. So Stein is throwing himself between myself and the 2 remaining battleships to make sure those guys focus on him while I wait for my damage repair party to get out of cooldown. And then with only 10 points left to go for the enemy team, he kills the South Carolina, gets the Kraken and again buys us some more time. Buddy, that really was an awesome job, I salute you. So now we have 2.5 minutes left to kill an almost full health Kaiser. And it's a 3-on-1 now, so it's really winnable after all. All 3 of us are peppering him with one armor-piercing salvo after another, but wait, there's an island coming up, which means I will not be able to give fire support. And this exactly is the big mistake I was talking about. Less than 2 minutes before the game ends, I basically took myself out of the match. You can see my shots are already hitting the landmass, so I have to go all the way around the island to join the others again. And I just got 1.5 minutes left to do so, probably even less cause the enemy is still getting points.
And since we all know how fast those battleships are, the chances of me getting around this island in time are pretty low.
Stein and the Nassau trying their best to get this Kaiser down by themselves, but it seems it's just not enough, and with under a minute left on the clock I finally managed to get around this island, lining up a full salvo against a perfectly broadside ship just to see the German dispersion fail me in the moment when it really mattered. So let me summarize. 9 kills and about 170k of damage between us, and this noob just managed to fail this game by depositioning himself. This was a few weeks ago and I'm still banging my head on my desk for this. One little mistake and the whole game just went to hell. Still makes me a little sad just to edit this video. Well, I hope at least you enjoyed it and maybe learned a little bit from it. So sail safe, aim true, and I see you around. Your friendly neighborhood snake.